Hello. This is looking better. I've had some issues with audio. It's annoying and stuff because you're right, but it looks like it's going right. So this is kind of what we're working through. A VT500 series parser. Been working on it for a bit now. I think we've got like 3,000 lines of code there. So what I kind of wanted to work on today, so at the moment we've got a thing, you can run bash in it. And I've added some things outside. You can move the mouse and it does some things. And that's kind of done in like 800 lines of diff. So what I kind of wanted to do was kind of add that out interactively. And in doing so, we can kind of see how each of the things are kind of used. So what I kind of wanted to look at first was this repeat thing. And after we stage it, what we can do is then search for repeat and learn to spell. And so this is using the, might bump that up a little. So this is using a regular expression, which is one of the things that you can do here. And it'll bring up some stuff that uses CSI private question enable, which uses this repeat. And this stuff I've changed these to use, which potentially I could kind of split this out into, perhaps I might, I don't know. But what I might do is just kind of add this as is, because it's kind of a neat little chunk. But now what I want to search for is this like kind of in and disable. So what we can do is search for in or dis and then able. And so now we're kind of doing that same search again. And then we can see here, we actually use it right here. And now I hope you get an idea on how that kind of, how do we do this? Can we, no, that one doesn't work. Where did that go? That's kind of interesting. No, I want that one. Yeah, cool, we can do that. Cool, so if we search for this repeat thing here and maybe make that a little bigger. So we've got a kind of macro repeat, and it's got like a bunch of stuff above it. So I'm going to walk through it a little slowly. So what repeat is doing is it's taking a number and it's taking a string, which it's going to repeat that string that number of times. Cool, sounds cool. Small caveat on the number of times. It has to be a static thing. It can't be something that's computed. It can be defined, which is computed at compile time, but it can't be something like x plus 1 or whatever, because what it's going to do is it's going to use another function, cat, which we define up here, which is actually just an underscore of cat, which is taking the same functions. And there's a reason why you need to do this in like kind of two lots. I can't quite recall what, but what this is going to do is basically paste the two tokens together as one string. And so then you get basically you're getting a repeat, and then you're appending on that string. So if you had x plus 1, you would now get repeat x plus 1, which is a valid macro. But if you get n, which happens to be less than 16 or less, then you will basically be calling one of these functions. And you'll see here, after we kind of get that cat, we then call it with the string that we want to repeat. So here we have repeat 16, and it's passed a string. And what it's going to do is going to call repeat 15 with that string, and then just append that string on the end. And so it's going to be like a space separated space thing here. And so how we use it is in this private question enable, and I think maybe some other stuff I also used it. And so this way we can kind of pass in a bunch of stuff, and the question enable, if we kind of go back up to where that was, what that's doing is it's doing an fprintf of repeat of var, so it gets a count, and I think I do the count up here, which the count is basically calling this get nth arg of this, and it will pass in the number of, well, it will pass in all the arguments it has, and then at the end of all the arguments it has, it'll pass in 16, 15, all the way down to 1. And the idea is, if you have, say, 0 arguments, this will have 0 things in it, so then it will get 15. 16 will be the first argument. So here, when we get nth arg, we have placeholders for the first 16 arguments, and then we have an n, and that n is what is returned. So in this case here, if you have 0 arguments, perhaps this should have a 0 on the end. I'm not too sure. But the idea is basically it will pass in each of these, and so underscore 16 will be 1, and then n will be the next argument. So that's why I'm thinking it should have a 0 there. But perhaps say we have 1 argument, so this will expand to 1. So this underscore 1 will be that first argument, then underscore 2 will be 16, and then underscore 16 will be 2, because we've kind of shifted up by 1. And then n will be that next argument of 1. So I think I do want to get over here and push that key and get a 0 in as well, I think. And I think that shouldn't really impact anything, because like say we have 16 arguments here, it'll fill up the first 16 things, and then n will be 16. So I think that'll be fine. So caveat, it only goes up to 16, and I think that is fine, because in this one, so if we search for 16, we're kind of looking at parameters for CSI sequences. I guess this is how I'm kind of using it. So if we kind of bring that back over here, this question enable was a fprintf of a CSI sequence. So basically what it's doing is, it's not actually a CSI sequence here, I guess. Could do this a little different, I think. And perhaps I might try. I like fixing bugs on the spot, because so if we look at this, so what I could do is perhaps do something like 033 that. And I wonder if something like this would work, and then the repeat would just be something like that. And then at the end of all this, I think I'll leave it as is. But kind of what it's doing is it will repeat this string 16 times, so you can only have up to 16, but I think that 16 is arbitrary. We can add more. If we add more, I'll probably programmatically do it. To do it, I use the macros. You can do the same, but if you want lots more, then potentially you wouldn't. But anyhow, this is kind of what I'm doing to kind of enable a bunch of settings all at once. And this is done in VT reset, so I guess this is disabling things. But there should be another, we allow to search for the same thing. No, we're not. But we can search for n or this and then enable, and we should find another thing in VT setup IO for question enable, and that's enabling basically the same thing. Perhaps we can kind of put these codes out as another define, and perhaps that might be what I do, because the codes themselves are actually just the same. Showing the thing later. Now, I wonder if I use repeat anywhere else. I thought I had already saved that. It's just adding the same thing. So I think what I can do here is if we go get diff staged, we can see what we have added. So we've basically added, let me do that again. This is using diff T, I think, so I can get like a side by side and kind of highlight all the things that I actually did change. So you can see here before I had like alt buffer enable, alt buffer disable, VT mouse mode enable, and now I can just kind of do this question enable and this format digits enable, disable can probably get put in the string, but perhaps that's because I hadn't fully implemented it yet. But you can see here that these function code parameters, they are roughly the same. There should be the same 3, and then I also have this disable and enable at the end. So what I might do is, while we, I kind of want to reset things, but yeah, you can kind of drag by the corner like that. So when we find this, well, in fact, we're on the function here. When we get this, I kind of want to get this, and if we like yank it and then search for the thing that we just yanked, no, the thing that we just yanked. So we can't find that. But if we search for this, mouth movement outbox. So I feel like those are the same tree, but perhaps because we had like a weird thing there. So if we yank this now and then search for the thing that we yanked, search for the thing that we yanked. All right, so are they different? So what I might do is I yank them and put them there. They're different in the sense they're out off by 1, but if I kind of search for that now, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It can't even find it. You need to like multi-line search, but to me this looks the same. So kind of what I want to do is where we get this. So where we do this, we can do define maybe prefix it with CSI question setup, and we can have this as the kind of thing. I think that's kind of what I want to do. And then here we can, where we do this, we can just go VT CSI. Can we get this? Do we see? Private. There should be like a setup somewhere. What we call it? This thing. No, how do I want to get that? I just want to go that. No. I want to do that first, and then I want to do that, but maybe put it here. And then we can just do that. I think that's kind of what I want to do. And then here, where we key just fell off. I'm hitting it too much. That one kind of does fall off sometime. And so here, now I can maybe go to the end and do that same thing. Maybe I can get that maybe put that there, and then put that there, and do something like that, and that looks much cleaner. And then like you can kind of add just to the one spot, and it'll kind of do all the things, and then eventually we can kind of get rid of these. And the reason why this isn't a thing is because I haven't actually implemented it. So if we look at the private tilde thing, we do have this one here. So this is 106. Yeah, so here what I kind of want to do is I mean it's commented out potentially for a reason, and then here we can go VT500. I kind of wanted to just go here and like, is it here? Format report digits. Yeah, so this is the one. So we already actually have it now that I kind of see things a bit clearer. So that kind of means here, this we don't need, and this we don't need. I mean, it was commented out, but it means that this we also don't need. And then, cool, that's a bit nice. And maybe I'll go back to this, and I added a thing to that. Won't do that. I will do this. Won't do that. Won't do that. Won't do that. Won't do that. So there's a few things that I did to kind of do things, but I will do that one, and I won't do that. Won't do that. Won't do that. Won't do that. I kind of want to just do the search that I was doing before. So like maybe I can search for mouse. Yeah, so I want to get that one. And so now if we kind of with that and like have a look at this stuff. So now this kind of is the final product, I guess, and perhaps I'll see that it still kind of runs and we can still get stuff, and I don't know, stuff kind of runs in between it. So cool. I'll commit that up. So what is this that we have just added? Clean up, set up, reset with some macros. Cool. Maybe we'll go back to the git diff and kind of see what has been done. So here I've added the strings to the mouse button. So maybe I'll look at kind of getting that. I think I might decrease the font just momentarily just to do all this. So this one's got a few things going on with it. I might kind of leave that for now. And leave this one for now. And so mouse button strings, here we are getting the mouse button strings, and we're also doing that. So I think I might actually, no, I'll split this up and I'll I didn't actually spot that. I thought it was starting from there. So I won't get this, I will get that, I won't get this, and I will get that. And then this one I will not get. This one I will not get. And like, surely there was another because at the top here we were adding a mouse buttons list, so maybe we can search for that. So it's like around this, but we're not actually using it. So I kind of want to just search for the same thing again. We're getting the same thing. I want to search for that. We get this one. Yeah, so this is the one I want. So if we split this up, I want this one, which is giving us long strings for that mouse button. Don't want this, and I do want this one. So mouse button string long, and I don't want this one. And so now we can perhaps search for this one, and that's printed in this key. So when we're printing a key, we can now print a key. Cool. So it will kind of say whether it's a release or a press or whatnot. So perhaps I will have to add some stuff for that. This, what are we doing? This is doing some stuff. I keep on doing work outside, and then it won't get the right thing. So I kind of want this is checking the button. So this is like reading the button, but that's just one thing. It changed the name. What ifs? It's printing stuff out. So it's probably like after all of this stuff, because yeah, I'm almost at the point that I'm like, yeah, let's just write it all out. So this is we've kind of uncommented stuff, so that kind of makes it a little harder. That stuff's kind of nothing. This is reading a different way. I'll kind of leave that as is. And this is taking out a bunch of stuff that we were doing and kind of putting it into another function that was up higher. Won't bring that in. This one, I think I will. So this one, if we don't have none, then we print it. Where we were printing this like weird thing with the mouse. So now we kind of we're going to print it. So that's that. I won't do that. And this is like back at the top of the file. So here we have a nice little thing to just kind of add printing of mouse thread. And I kind of note that this it has stuff like movement. So we should add that release in, even though it never gets set, I think. But that movement was, but yeah, so it kind of gets set in this one, which is a different thing. But so now if we have a look at this again, we're just kind of adding long text to our button. So get comment, add long strings for mouse key output. And now we can kind of look at some more things. So we could do one that just kind of there's one that I changed the text of a bunch of things. So perhaps I'll kind of split things out and do that. And I think I spotted some things. So expect CSI. So I want this CSI. I want something like that. And here I want to find that and then do something like that, except do that. Yeah, that's the one I want. And here I just want to kind of find anything else that I don't actually kind of do. It was just that one. Cool. Literally just that one. Cool. So if we kind of look at this one, so I want to add this. What's going on up here? This is kind of adding stuff to the same one, but it's also adding a bunch more stuff. So I kind of want to like perhaps even edit this and almost just keep this stuff the same, but put this here instead. And then all this stuff, which is new, we'll just kind of leave as is. Now, anything that I should be concerned about there? No, I think that's kind of all right. Will it kind of do? Yeah, well, cool. What am I doing here? So I'm only doing the strings. What a lovely video to watch. Me just hitting commits. This is part of development. It would have been easier if I kind of did it at the time, but that is just what it is. I won't add that, won't add that, won't add that, that. Oh, that's a bug that I kind of want to address shortly. What's happening here? This is when we're drawing the gutters. Right, so I add color to the gutters. I won't do that. And side gutters, and then we kind of free up memory. This is some checking buttons, so we have that code. This is doing that. That's changing from this. So when you change the color, I kind of set it to dirty, so that's to update the gutter area. This one I think I want to change because it's doing this, but I also want to take that one. Perfect. I'll take both of them. What's happening in this one? I kind of want to take this. I feel like I want to split this up and not kind of care about this new function. So what I can do, I don't want to split it, I want to edit it. So what we can do is just do that, and I think then we can kind of just get rid of all of this, and like we'll kind of add it up afterwards. We'll see if that kind of lets us. Perfect. And that one I think I'll do. What's happening here? So I want to split that. I want to do that, except I want to go back to that one. And maybe search. We get out of that mode. Search for anything with a space at the end. I think these can get rid of. That one's kind of fine. That one can get rid of. These are all kind of fine. It makes it look slightly nicer. As you know, the case I don't need, but all these kind of building up arrays, it kind of looks a bit nicer if you ever look at the code after the pre-processing step. But yeah, so what I'll do that is I kind of want to go back to that. I wonder if that's possible. So no, I'm not adding that extra one, and yes, I want to do this. This no, I don't want to do that. This I kind of want to go and comment that back out again. So when we do the VT process, oh wait, it's when we're doing a key request and whatnot. I think it's this one here. So I'll just kind of do that, and that kind of might make things a bit nicer here. And I don't want to actually do any of that, and I don't want to do that. Cool. I want to go back and say no, and no for this, and no for that, no for that, no for that, no for that, no for that. Maybe I'll do this next. This was colorizing stuff and the gutter. There was a white space change, which is going to just make things a bit. That's also kind of white spacey. Let's change the name. Easy. That's just that new function. So I'll get that one again, not that one, and not that one for now, not that one, not that one, not that one. Cool. So if we look at the stage diff, so this should just be kind of adding text, the character to the thing to make it a bit nicer to see what it is. I don't know. Make CSI private logs show the private char instead of text. Cool. So now I might just kind of add in these. So I'm adding in some new functions. We'll just add in that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. All of this. Not that, 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 not that. That's whitespace from before. And I think I want to bring in this. And split this and maybe just bring in that. I kind of want to not bring in that. Can we like go back? There was a thing that we can. I think once we've got it, we have to go back through again. But I do want this stuff, and that, and that, not that, and this, and that. Cool. And so now if we get restore stage -p, and I'll just get rid of that one that I said I didn't actually want to that one, I believe. Cool. And so now we have a look at this one where just adding new functions. So new functions, and these new functions will read in mouse support. So it does this check button. So that's using one of these modes. So basically, I'm asking as the virtual terminal for my parent terminal to, instead of sending me this data, it's sending me this data here, which it means that you can have stuff above 223. So if you have like a really wide thing, it will kind of work. And it also kind of has a bit better movement and press and release kind of tracking. And so because of that, I now have all the kind of knowledge that I can then pass on to children that then run. But that's kind of parsing that, and then this mouse report is, you can get like a report of either press or release, and this kind of does the right thing. This is the dispatch stuff that's copy paste from every other dispatch thing. So it's basically wrapping stuff up in these big things with the functionless, whatevs. We printed out, it's literally just a copy paste with tweaking numbers, I guess. Add another thing. This is kind of handling that different private functions. So you can have a private function with a question mark and one with a less than. So now it kind of dispatches to the correct one. And here we were getting the mouse if we like if it detected that it was a mouse key, it would then read more stuff to check which button and stuff it is. But because now we get that other mouse report, we don't actually want to do this in this case. But sometimes we might. It depends. But yeah, so that kind of pulls out all that stuff. So let's commit this up. Add new private funds to get mouse info. And so now what do we have? We've got a bug. So this one was a fun bug. I was using I, and it was like reshadowing I, and this D or this R or this whatevs can have I in it. So like what? Like it could have array contains, and the array is blah, and the element is another array indexed I. So this kind of fixes that, and I go through and kind of do that. I also rename set add to set append, other order, and this is just another place, more macro stuff to do, and I think this was the place that we kind of used it. So set add colors I. This I was getting kind of not doing the right thing, and set contains colors I, and that I wasn't doing the right thing. There's another way to do it, which is potentially more robust, and so if we go into the array contains. So if we go into here, what we can do is we can actually do like a type of D, type of D, and then we can make another D, and we can make that equal to D, and then here we just do that, and that kind of helps with that, I guess. But I mean, the way I've done it, it kind of does the right thing. Cool. So can we get back to this? And so what was this? This was coloring in stuff. So I think I'll leave that for another commit, even though that was where the bug was found. And that was whitespace. This was so it could set the buffer at the end. I'll add this because it's a name change. Won't add that. And so this was golly, I have forgotten everything that I kind of do. So this was fix bug with macro shadowing vars set contains other R I failed before because I got shadowed in the macro. Cool. And I'll just add a bit more of that. So this is all adding color of the current thing, which I can show in this. So if we kind of launch bash again, and I think I have I don't have that. What I can do is print F and go, I can't do that as well. Print F 033 and then do that, and then like I don't know 41M just to kind of set a color. And then if I go cat, you can see here wherever my cursor is, it will update the gutter I pushed into, then it crashed. We can see how it crashed in there. And didn't know what to do on a mouse thing. It's not the best thing to learn about, but that is what it is. Cool. So what do we have here? So that was just adding that color information. So to do that, I basically have a set of these are things that change the color, or these are things that I kind of care about. And then we have an attribute set that we kind of make, zero initialize, go through all of these things, and then if it was used, then we add it into this for the current attribute. So basically, if the current thing that we're going to write next, so the next print operation is a red background, set the gutter to the red background, and that gutter gets set in kind of here. So, well, it's set in a few places. So if you have any stuff in, so if dot size means if you have more than one, then it's true. Well, if you have more than 0, it's true. And if that's the case, then we do for each, and we put a colon, and then we chuck in the attribute code. And perhaps this should make sure that it's only 16 things, but I don't know. So we can add that, and it's added in a few cases that kind of check, and so that's all kind of the same. And we also free that set on exit, so we don't have a memory leak. And here I want to split that and add that, not that, and do add that, not that. And here we can commit this, and so this was I'm really bad at not there. I'm really bad at remembering what I was just doing. Yeah, so this was add color info to yellow. That was just something I did when I was bored, I guess. And this was whitespace. White space. It's just white space cleanup. Cool. And at that point here, we should have a clean thing. So I've got a bunch of other files, but that's all right. None of them are kind of needed. I can't remember what this was. This was when I was trying to do like a range thing, and that you can kind of do it, but it's not quite the right thing. The signal.c was just basically read a signal and print it out. So when you get a signal, it prints it out. That we can like GCC that to signal, and if we just run the signal, if we give it an interrupt, if we give it a wait, not that. How do I hit that? That surely is bizarre. But yeah, if I like do another one, I can try and do things. And I did Control Q and it just quit. Perhaps I have a check for if it's a control character. I don't know. That was kind of interesting. Oh no, I think if I read from standard in at all, it will exit. Yeah, I mean, message was kind of saying that. So what else do I have in here? I actually had that test.c. Slightly test code of some description. That was me trying to work out how to do reading and writing from a child, I guess. But yeah, so now we are in a position that we still have the same stuff. We can probably push up that code that I had. Now what I want to do is focus on being able to only send this mouse info if the client has asked for it, if that kind of makes sense. Because I'll note that if we run a.out again within inside this, that will crash straight away, and you can see momentarily why it crashed if I just do that. I keep on like any mouse movement in it will kill it, but then it'll kind of go back to this. But in here we can scroll up a little and probably find at some point, I don't know. Actually no, I think if we reset, if I go to I don't know, temp 3, we'll call it that. If I do that, then we can cat temp 3, and unsure why it wanted to do that, but we can catch TMP3, and then that will kind of show what it's complaining about, and it's complaining about unsure what to do on receipt of the mouse code, which is the question mark thing. So what I kind of want to do is only send that if the person has asked for it. And how I might do that, yeah, so not too bad timing. So how I might do that is we process it, but like before we actually do it, we actually just write whatever we receive verbatim. And I think that is not what I kind of want to do. Because it kind of depends on what key that you're doing, what you kind of want to do. It's just what it is. And so how I was thinking I might do this is kind of want this, like all of this maybe, or like all of this to be, this is like the like default mouse thing. So like maybe I'll see like that, and like we can call this VT. Do we have like a process mouse? Default mouse. We can figure out something to do it now. If we go up here and then like void VT process default mouse, and takes a VT, and if we kind of just paste in that stuff and like do that. So what does this take? This takes an I. So perhaps we can do this check outside of here. And then in here, we kind of accept the three things. So this is going to be a unit8 T A, and perhaps I can gang for that and do that, and find that and then do that, and then we can just have A, B, C, and A, B, and a C. And then that means back here we would probably yeah, kind of just do that, except maybe do that sort of thing there. And then what else in here does it kind of care about? That ABC. So this is I minus 2, right? So I minus 2 was the A. So this is A. And I kind of want to just do that and do that, because that was that one, and then this one was no, so you get that, and then this one was C. And then we kind of just do that. This that was C. This was B, and that one was A. And so, do we have a buff? We have the buffer, and we set it up there. So I think this should kind of do it. It doesn't know what to do about continue. We can do a return. Maybe a return false, actually, if we're doing continues and whatnot. Return false, and then at the end we can just return true. Made it to the end, you are doing well. And so here we can have if not that one more continue. So if we can't process the mouse, we'll just continue at some description, and then that kind of makes that a bit nicer. So this should do that, we should be able to quit that and kind of go back into it. Cool. Little smoke test. So, what I want to do is not write stuff here. Do something like that. So let's comment that out to start with. And what I want to do is maybe look at, do I want to look at the VT? No, I kind of want to look at the emitted key, this thing here. So we have a key and a key modifier, and I kind of want to have a like string view type thing, string view, and we don't have a string view, I guess. And do I kind of perhaps I want to just do that, and perhaps we can just do this. And so am I even using U and H? Oh no, I do want that. That did a thing. So I don't want the docs for it. I want to see where I'm using it. So I do kind of process it as a, yeah, so this is, how do we process it here? We process it from a buff. Perfect. So if we have this, at this point here, I kind of want the view of the emitted key to be equal to, well, the start is equal to buff I, and the end is equal to, I kind of don't want to do buff I want to do buff plus I, and the end is equal to buff plus, we should have like a red, we do have a red. Cool, and then that's that. We'll work out what to do with that afterwards, but that kind of means that we should have a start point, and we should have a ending point. I kind of want to make it a size T size, and then this whole thing is called the view. And so here the end is actually size, and it is going to be red minus I, and I is always less than red, so this should be a positive number. Always good to make sure it's a positive when you're putting in an unsigned type like size T. Cool. So I think if that is the case, so we print out the thing there, but we also kind of print out a key there. I kind of want to do a few things. So this can be like its own kind of thing. And then that kind of makes this the up to key request. Now we just do a memory set. Like that stuff is the same, and this stuff here, the transition to ground and kind of setting it to key request, that's done at the start of the loop. And is this like, or this is, yeah, so that's just kind of covering the last key. I don't want to keep that like that though. And like perhaps this should be like that. And like, well, I didn't want you actually. And do something like that. And then these are the same, I would say. And the idea there is VT process key, and now we can just have that. And how do we call this mouse dot star bracket? How do we call our so the VTCSI mouse report? And so when we do the default this is mouse. This one, we didn't call it that. So this is what it was called for that. So maybe we'll just have a default mouse report and get rid of, oh, where did that go? Is that like back super long way? I'm not quite sure what key I pressed to do that. But yeah, so in here, if we redo that a few times, we can call that just by itself. And if we go here and then paste that, it's just what it is. So, yeah, so what I want to do here is have this kind of thing be part of that. And like, this is kind of like the setting a key based on what it is. So, if we have a key, did we make a thing? Yeah, we did. So we can kind of chuck all this out into void VT process key, and we can just have a thing like that, and then paste that in there, and then like kind of set that up, and then here when we do this, we go down a couple. We've already put it there, all right. So we have this in two places. Cool. So that means if we kind of go there, what did that complain about? We sometimes I'm just too quick for my bin. Right, it didn't like this, so I think that's because we need to I wonder if I just want that. And I think here we do kind of need to I think this is what I want. doing it slower, but in this case, the BT station method key dot view dot size should be equal to BT emitted key dot view dot start, but here we're going to take whatever the current buffer is. So buff plus I, and then we're going to get the end result and then kind of subtract off the start to get the size. Yeah, I think that's roughly what is what. And here, what I can do is kind of get this and yoink in here. We kind of want to do this. And if we get this, so this is going to be VT emitted key dot view dot size. So we're trying to write that much, and red's the thing that we want to do. And so here the buff is going to be VT emitted key dot view dot start. And this fix me is kind of fixing that in a sense. So this is going to make it like slightly less efficient if, like, it's going to, if you have a single key press, it's going to be a 1 byte write. Right, so this could return an error, I guess. So if that is the case, what do we want to do? I think I kind of want to do something like this. Right, and then we can pass in the child tty, and we can pass in the emitted key dot view dot start, and we can pass in the emitted key dot view dot size, and that function there is going to deal with all of this. So here we have a variable, and what we call it, VT right. And so it is going to take a file descriptor. It's going to take a U and 8T buffer, and it's going to take a size T size to write. And in here we can do that, and I think I kind of want to do that, and if that equals -1, there was some error, I guess. That kind of makes sense. It all makes sense. So in here, I kind of want to see the this SS size T const void buff I did wonder about that. So we can have const void. And did they actually give it a pointer? Yeah, it's a pointer because it's a dot. So can we give that same kind of thing there? No, we can't do that. But what we could do is we can kind of pass in that. So this is just going to be count. Now we don't need to unsigned it anymore. This is going to be quite a bit different. So we're going to have that be there. This is going to be oh yeah, that's that noise. That's that, and then this is going to be that sort of thing. And this can just be right, we can just have that sort of thing. And so this is going to be count. And at that case here, we're going to return we wrote everything. And so here, I think I might want to do -1 there. So if that is the case, we process key there. So I think it's getting kind of close-ish to being in the same state it was before, if that kind of makes sense. Cool. So we don't have a VT. So an annoying thing. If you have an unreachable, you kind of need to pass in that VT because of reasons. So here we can return true, I guess. What is this malfunction? That's cool. So that is now compiling. If we kind of run bash, we can run bash and yeah, so this is roughly the pain that I thought that would be the case. Right, so we have bad address. That's kind of interesting. What I want to do is need a dot out. You know, tell it because so if we just run that, and if I just push one key, so what this has done, and Mr. Key L, and we got right bad address. So what that kind of tells me is we can't even do that. We've got to kill that. What I kind of want to do is do an S trace minus E right, and just kind of see what it's kind of writing. So if we do that, this bad address that we get, we're trying to write to 7, but we're passing null. Yeah, so that null is no good. That kind of means that this view.start never got set. View.start. Thought it would there. Cool. This need to kind of kill that. So what I need to do is kind of do we have we can kind of run just cat. So if we do that sort of thing and just run cat. Oh, it was temp 2 this one. Cool. So if we p that and then oh, cool. So we get that bad address. So what I wanted to do was we did that. At this point here, can we go GDB minus RX of that thing? And I believe it should layout source. And if we kind of want to get at this point here, I guess. So if we like break at vt.c at 2785 and layout source and interesting. We need to follow forks on that GDB. Uh, 2785, and are we allowed that? Nah, so like, kind of interesting, but that did break, which is kind of what I wanted. I just would prefer that I could step through. Cannot enable the TUI when output is not a terminal. What output was a terminal? It must be checking on yeah, so we're allowed there. So if we break BT C2785 and if we run that, and so if we just run a single key, so now we have read some stuff. So what have we had? We have read 1 byte, and what is the buff? We can see that it is an E followed by that. So if we kind of go through, and perhaps we can display VT emitted key dot, perhaps just the whole thing because it will kind of show us. So buff plus I should, well, PI is 0, so that should be buff, right? And so, yeah, cool. It starts at that E, and then we are in state ground. We print out thing. So this process, it resets that view. Cool. So I think I know roughly what is happening. So emitted key equals. So we have cases where we just kind of set that. And so I think what needs to be done in this case, we need to kind of just assume that the yeah, it's potentially so like yank to that and then do that and then do that and do that and do that and do something like that. Do something like that. Cool. most things will be a bit easier. So perhaps I can start a thing, and we can probably do like CF that and do message key. And I didn't get that, but that's all right. And then we can have that. I think that's roughly what I want. And so if we do that, we get that. And so I think it's even the case in this. And this one is a little trickier. Perhaps here we would find that one and then like delete that and then like delete back. Sure. It had some like random craft like that, I don't know. And if we do that, and if we run that macro, so let's get that macro a bit better. Right, so when we land here, we would basically find the space, delete that, go like that, do that, find the dot, and then do that, and then go back one. And we weren't recording a macro, of course. I kind of want to undo that. It's good practice for macro. So we're here. So we're here. We find the space. We delete it. We probably could have done that different. And then find the dot, and then replace that with that, and then go back to there, and then do the D one. We don't want that. We don't want that. Cool. And then this would suit that D one quite nice. And then this would suit K1. Yeah, cool. That does do what I want. Oh, that one had a bit more going on with it. We'll let the compiler complain about that, and I'll fix up something. Cool. So at this point here, it didn't like that, but it'll probably like that. So here we can. This is happening a few places. So what I might do is do that, and then find the equals, and then oh no. Go back, find the dot, and then delete till it equals, and then delete till the dot. And we weren't recording a macro. Cool. We'll record a macro. We'll bring that in there. Find the dot, delete till the equals, delete till the dot. And then we're want to do something like that. I want to get this good. Right, so we're on a comma, and I think I want to kind of keep that fact. So what we'll do is find the dot, delete till the equals, delete till the dot, find the comma, and place it with we back here. We want to put that there, place that with that, bring everything up, delete till the equals, delete till the dot, then find the comma, and then we're kind of like in the same spot. Oh, that didn't quite do what I wanted there. But that is so. Like, I guess I want to like do that. Well, what happened there? Oh, because yeah, we want to do that to kind of clean it up. Cool. Now it theoretically works. Will it work? I don't know. So if we just run this, we're missing a key, but nothing is kind of appearing back, and we can't kind of kill. So I think we still need to go back and do it from where we were, 2789, 278, somewhere around there. Cool. So break VT500 layouts source. We can get that. So if we run that, don't need debug, we can print one key, and so this should get us all the things that we want. So what I want to do is display buff. I want to display red, I guess. I also want to display VT emitted key. So start is in. We process start is still in. The size is not, but we can deal with that. But it reckoned that the raw is just in. Perhaps the size should get set at that point there. Hard to know. But this kind of means that we should be so that yeah, that size didn't do the trick. So the size. Because we're now at the end. Yeah. Cool. So what does this do? Just running. I think that's kind of working. So if we kind of quit that and just go straight to running bash, kind of a good test. Cool. We can kind of run stuff and do things. So that didn't actually change anything about the mouse thing that I was talking about. But it's kind of got us in a good point that we can start doing things based on what key it is. So in this here, what we could do is we can switch on VT emitted key dot type, and if it is like what are the types? We should have a VT key mouse. Case VT key mouse. So if we have a mouse, we should probably do something. Otherwise, we'll kind of just default to writing whatever it is out. I think that's that. So the process key, when we are there, we kind of need to do that thing rather than the one-liner, just because it needs to kind of know that it's got to the end. But I guess in this case, we don't want the +1. So that's like if we just push like an N type thing. So we can't have that, but we can have red. And that's potentially right. So if we just push escape or tab or something, but escape is the one. Right, so bad address it got. So it's getting bad address for... Interesting that it's getting bad address sometimes, but not all of the times. So that sent an escape. I wonder if I can... no, we can't do that. We can actually do that. So escape, bracket, or 1. Yeah, it's doing something slightly different to what I would have thought. What I want to do is perhaps say what I'm writing. So in this VT write, perhaps I would kind of want to do a VT X dump. It's always going to be like a smallish thing. It print if std error, and in here we're gonna print out VT right, and we're gonna get that. And here I want to kind of break it out into what it is. So all the parts of it. So for size t, I equals 0, I is less than count, I lost. So in here, what we want to do is if is print. Now is print is that kind of what I want, including space. So I kind of want is graph. Yeah, is graph. Do we have like a is space is control? We do have that. But yeah, so the I wonder if I can search for that. Is the it's just that one. Print key, yeah. So this print key, I think, is what I want. No, it is not what I want. There's like a thing where we print the characters, so I guess we will have a %c like that. Yeah, is print. So if print c, this is kind of what I want to do. Yeah, that's right. If it's a space, we'll just kind of have it tapped in a space. So wherever I was kind of doing, I kind of want to do VT print print seed, pass in our VT, and then we can have buffer and I, something like that. And you'll just you take a stream as well. So here we can std error. Knew I had something there. And then if I is a thing, we can fprintf std error, and we can just kind of print a little thing like that, and then printf std error. And here I just want to close off that, and then I also want to say what the count is, and then that can be kind of the message, and then we can just count, and that way we should kind of get a message every time we do write. We don't. Cool. So this we didn't pass it fd. That one looked better. So here, if I push a single letter, we can see where is my mouse? I don't really want to move it over because it'll destroy this. So we can see here that we did a VT right of I, and so this like sometimes worked, but yeah, like that got a seg fault on something. And that's when we're trying to read from null. So I think here, if not, well, if buffer do this, yeah, let's see, and then have that sort of thing. And that's going to be to there, and then otherwise we can if printf and then std error, and like do like that sort of thing, and then at the end here we kind of want that sort of thing, but we also want this to that one. Then at the end we do that. Cool. And so now it should say when we are printing null. So I did escape again, and we got a null. So that's kind of interesting. It kind of means that the VT write, like we're only pulling it from here. In fact, printf it's the error handle sending mouse to client, because it'll depend, and perhaps I actually want to make this implemented. Is that the one that I want? Do you we don't actually have that. We have unimpl, just that one, and you do an exit if true. Cool. Cool. So if we kind of we reset just so kind of have it looking nice when it crashes. It doesn't kind of go into a nice state. We can't do that, or it's because we want to return something. It's only come up here because we can return a thing. Where else do we call this? We call it in like a few places where it would be kind of useful to. The other thing is I can just kind of have this as that, and we don't care about the errors, and here we can just return, because that one kind of handled the errors, if that kind of makes sense. This seems awfully far out. Yeah, that looks better. Cool. So if we do that, perfect. If I do like escape, and then if I do escape again, it will say no, and it will show the large number. So when we have that null, I don't want to know if count is like greater than 100. I kind of want to see what is going on there. Otherwise, we strip out that one. And in that case, I'll just print it as a signed number. And we just need that. So if I got a crick in my throat, didn't me. So if I do like escape and then escape again, we're getting not -1. So it does make me wonder where that's coming from. So if I reset this, and we should have a GDB, and we can break in VT right actually, and layout source, and if we run this, push that, we don't care about this one. And then if I do escape again, this one is the one that we where it's null. So if I do that, it's not null there. Interesting. So I can do like a break PT right. Yeah, so if not buffer, do I need to like wrap you and things like that? Yeah, and then we can unbreak, delete break one, and so now if we continue. When does it send it? Because before it happened after I sent like it just kind of two little things. But like if I go like this and escape, escape. Do I like fix it somehow? Escape, escape. Yeah, so that one got a null. That also, that also, that also. So when it is null, I kind of want to track down like why it is null. Because it kind of no, I did change all of those. Well, if we get nothing, is that like gonna be an issue? I feel like it should always be setting a size, but it is sometimes not setting message key dot view dot start. I kind of want to call the start something like data. And so if data isn't set, I kind of want to printf. Well, we can actually do here. No, here. And that's potentially a better thing than so if we look for this, we can I kind of want that, but there, yeah, cool. So if we kind of look at that, we can exit. So if we kind of maybe reset, good luck. If I run this and then escape, and then null here on 2867, 282867, and go here. So that is the one that is done. And yeah, it is after everything. So null here, it knows that it was an escape. So where do we set esc by itself is only on this key here. So when do we set this key? Huh. It's kind of annoying that it didn't always show up in GDB. Because what I want to know is when it doesn't get set and why. Just see whether it gets to that point. So if we exit there, so I'll do escape and escape again. So it was in that loop. And it didn't do it the first time. So that's an interesting one to kind of ponder over. So if we kind of maybe do that. So if we do escape once, we read one from there. We only read that one byte. And we're in that, like, we're inside the for loop when we process it. But if I do escape again, we read it again. We're in ground, then we go to escape, and then we get there. But then we don't deal with the key then and there. So how come we did it for this one? So we set it when we're processing, and we R in escape, then we set Alt escape. Cool. Otherwise, if we get to the end of everything, so we processed everything in our buffer, and then at the end, if we're still requesting a key, I kind of want to do the VT key string. Yeah, cool. We can just do that. VT emitted key dot key and dot type. I think I need to do that. And here I can also do one just outside. And like perhaps I can also do a %p, and we can also do a void star of VT emitted key dot view dot data. And whenever I do this here, so I want to kind of get that one. And also, or not that one, this one. So it prints out a few different things. Cool. So if we exit that, reset that, and kind of run our code, we can compile, we can probably fix that. Right. What we are, that is because we are not putting a thing there. That's awesome. And one more. Didn't have a comment. Cool. So if we do this, and so I do escape, we can kind of see all the things. So what's happened here? We got escape. We had one thing of read. 2720, 2820, I mean. So that is this one. At that point there, it was still request. And so it would go down to this one. And at that point there, it's still request. And at this point here, it changes it to escape, which is what it's meant to do. Yeah. And so if I push another escape, weirdly gets no, and I see here it's nil for everything. On the key request. Huh. Because, like, before the process, it should surely have the right thing. Exit, thanks. So if we go back into that, maybe make some bigger escape the first time. Right, so this spreads it out a little. Actually, that was kind of weird. Maybe escape once. Cool. So we got the escape. We're in request. Cool. That did the right thing. If we do it again, it's kind of all spread out, and we get. Yeah. Alright, so we actually got a mouse code in there. Yeah, because it got two escapes there, which was kind of interesting. Two escapes and then a mouse code. Well, like one escape, then a mouse code. So is this all because I'm like, nah, that one didn't, and no mouse codes. So it worked here. Then we got another one in, and it was already nil on that 2808, which that seems wrong. So at this point here, it was already nil. But it was set to reset. Was set to request. What I wonder is whether this kind of needs to be outside here, and we will set it to request outside, but then it should still go through the loop. I don't really want Emacs, please get me out. Cool. So it should still go on a loop of 1, and it is in that loop, but it is already kind of set to request. And so when did it get set to request? So when does it get reset to request? I think I don't want this here. I think that's the magic number. Cool. So here, if we go here, escape once, escape twice. Cool. We're just getting lots of escapes. So we could do something like that. Nah. Escape, open bracket, 4, 1. I did 4, 0. So escape, open bracket, 4, 1, M, and it did that. I think I just have to write that really quickly, but how can we... I wonder if I can test that. Yeah, I can kind of do like a printf 033 4, 1 M, do that sort of thing, and I'll just put it into copy, which it means I can kind of just go like that, and didn't like it. We got a key packet that didn't parse to a key. That's because it parsed to a gate segment. So yeah, that kind of doesn't really make sense for input, but if we did it as input, maybe we just kind of send off as is. No, I still haven't done anything to actually kind of say, if you're a mouse, don't do this. And perhaps now is the time to do that if I have a working kind of thing where I can just push escape, escape, escape. If I do double escape, it should get meta escape, perfect. I feel like this is kind of working to the point that I kind of wanted to get it to. So if we get key mouse, so if we get this and we had it in this point here, so at the moment it has none impl, so that's hopeful. That means if I do this, it should crash. Cool. What I want to do is see whether it crashes just in the gutter. Yeah, so it doesn't crash in the gutter. That is kind of what I wanted it to do. But as soon as I go out, it started raining. As soon as you go out into the grid, it'll crash. And that should be anywhere there. So the point of that is the input that I got. So in fact, I can, if we try and get 1 here. So here we can see on the left, there's like that top line. We get a 033 if I kind of move up to 1, and we can kind of see that you have the X and the Y, and the first arg is something else. So that means that the VT program, it knows that this point here is 3.3, but this point here, 1 over where it crashes, is 4.4. Now I've done the right thing and emitted mouse movement at 1.1, but what I need to do with that information is actually convert that into the information that the client wants for the mouse support that it's actually asked for. Because if you don't actually do printf like dash 0033 question mark 106H or something like that, you won't actually ever get the thing that you want. But yeah, so I guess in that case, what I need to do is actually work out when it is when it is that I need to do it. So this deckpam, we also had pam this one, pam this one. Yeah, so in here, we also kind of put that same comment here. This is kind of getting pushed through verbatim when we are reading from. Oh, yeah, that's when like the client spits out standard error, then we kind of rewriting it. I think that's kind of valid, but perhaps we should do something different there. But yeah, I guess that's one of the things, and I'm kind of the persuasion that perhaps that is the right thing to do, and it doesn't crash that. Yeah, that's cool. But when we have mouse, we have like mouse movement. So when we enable a mouse mode, mouse reporting. So we kind of have, yeah, so it's all from here. And we just want to say what mouse mode that we have done, and yeah, so perhaps this can go down a bit more. So you've got these modes, 9,000 and then 1,000, 2,000, 3. And so we don't actually have 9 here. We could potentially have 9. And this is what mouse is click only tracking. Click only tracking. Click tracking. Sure, that can be what it is. And in here we can have mouse reporting with click only tracking. And what we can do is we undo that. Can I get there? Yeah, I can. And I kind of want to be at this point there, and then in here we can go here, T, C, S, C, S, I, private question, mouse click tracking, that is the one, perfect. And we probably need another thing there, and that means that we probably need that open like that to make it make all sense. Cool. So that kind of means that we need to pump one thing up there. And so how do we want to store this? We have a VT structure. And we search for it like that. Yeah, we can search for it like that. So we have this VT structure. And I guess what we need to do is note whether the child is in a certain mode or not. So what we could do is we could have like a mouse mode, and perhaps we could have that, and perhaps we can have a reporting mode, and perhaps we can do that. And where have I gone there? Mouse reporting, because sometimes you might want different things. So what on earth is this mouse mode? It kind of implies I kind of want to perhaps like do some commits and whatnot. We can do that as like a one-off. Unimpl deck kpam deckpam, yeah, that's the one. Right, so we'll leave that mouse reporting for now. And I kind of want to add in this view stuff because it does kind of touch a few things. I kind of didn't want to do that one, but that's all right. We can perhaps go back and edit it. So the process key, what we're doing is sure that default mouse report goes up there. This is doing a bunch of stuff. I think this is all kind of good to just kind of do that. And I kind of want to get out that one that was this one. So now we can git commit, add buffer view for keys. And so now if we kind of add up, we're now in the point that we're kind of doing the stuff with the mouse mode. And it'll make this a bit nicer to read, I think. So in the mouse mode, what I kind of want to do is just kind of define a like mouse mode list. Read mouse mode list, and so we can have a VT mouse mode and whatever the modes are. So what are they? Click. And so what I can do is actually kind of see, do I still have that? Yeah, I've got this thing here which will trap the thing and then run FFD. So if I open up 9, the mouse, I get nothing, but so the middle mouse button, I just get the paste buffer, so ignore that. That's just a feature of Linux. So yeah, I'm not too sure what this 9 does, but I'm currently I get nothing for that. And I wonder whether, so we probably have like a GNOME terminal. We do have a GNOME terminal. And if I am in that GNOME terminal, I can probably have that F thing, and then we can go F9. And this one also gets nothing for the clicks. Interesting. So one thing that I did wonder was whether if we go F9 in this terminal, we do get clicks here. So this is outside of tmux. So perhaps this is what we kind of want to be sending, these clicks here, if we have that mode. But my point, I guess, is we have a click only, and I perhaps want to merge P9 and only shows up outside of tmux. And potentially screen as well. Like if I go screen and can't run screen, that's interesting. Perhaps because I'm on like 1,000. That's kind of interesting. Why can't I run screen? But yeah, so we'll have something like this, and what is that next one? Down up tracking. Down up tracking. And this is mode 1.0. And it does show up. So like if I go into tmux over here and go 1.0, I can get some clicks, and click stuff is done. Mouse movement is not, click and movement is not, so it's only click and release. And then we also have highlight mode. I kind of highlight mode. This is that. I kind of want to say not used, or can break stuff. And then this one is click and dragging. Click, and we can see what that does if we and it was like 102, surely. 102 or 103 is that last one. So 102, this one we click and we drag and we get different results. And if I click up in the corner, it's exclamation mark. If I try with another one, it's the same one. So that's just the coordinate. That is why different numbers show up different places. The 101, which I say It's something to do with like if you hold shift and then like highlight, then it does a thing. But like I don't know, maybe outside of here, 101 was it? No, 102. No, 101 would be the one highlight mode. Yeah, 101 in this big one here. So I wonder if that is like by default I can kind of do that, but that's kind of interesting. That's doing an enter, and it's just like a right click, which a right click does not normally do an enter. That's bizarre. Like a right click, it's normally fine. Yeah, I wonder if that's things break type thing. It did mention things can break. So click drag dragging is the next one. Click drag. That's that. Something like that. And then this final one was movement, and that can be that final one. And I wonder whether I can stick modes with it. It feels like a little bit of doubling up because we do just have 103 like down there as well. But yeah, I wonder. I could potentially have. Nah, it's only like a couple of things. But I guess now that I've kind of made this one, I can make a mouse modes list. So if we kind of get that, we can kind of replace keys with mouse mode. Do that everywhere, and also do lowercase. And where else do you get set? Here we might have the same, and you're also there. And where are you now? That's not quite what I want to know. I want to search for this, but I feel I've got everything now, so now we should. We never actually did that. So, when we get this mouse mode list, mouse modes list, mouse mode list. I think that's the one I want. Right, so now it doesn't know about reporting mode. That's cool. We don't actually set the mouse either, and I think I want to have a mouse mode off, or like none potentially. And then when we do that 103 down here, what we can do is now we have the mode that we want to do. And so this would just be VT mouse equals, and this is VT mouse mode, and this is click only. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I want. But here we, yeah, we can do something like that and do something like that and do something like that, and we'll leave that last one for now. But this click only, that is now going to be down up tracking. I think I want to rename some things. So down up tracking can be mouse press release. Press release. That one. And that means we need to kind of do the same thing there. And this click tracking, I kind of want to make that do that. And so here we have mouse mode, and I think I want to do a press release and drag. It's a bit of a mouthful, but that's what it is. And that's 102. What do I call it? Press release drag. Press release drag. We've already got a press release, and then this last one, this click only, we probably want to do just movement. I think that's roughly what I want, and that is roughly what it is. Cool. And so the reporting digits, we have a few different reporting modes, which we have default and these other three, I guess. So what I think, this won't quite compile because we don't have those reporting modes. So perhaps I'll kind of add them in. They will just be kind of a similar thing. But this will be reporting modes list, and here we can probably do a reporting, and that can probably be the default, I guess. And what do we have? Multi-byte, format digits, and format URXVT. And I think I have the digits. Yeah, so I already have like this type of thing. So if we kind of just put that there, we can kind of see digits, and that was 106. 106. And something like that. And we also have multi-byte. And that one was, what numbers are these? 105 and 1015 for URXVT. So that's that. And here we can URXVT, I guess, and then find that and then do that 1015. Was that what I thought it was? 1015. So these I kind of want to have like a switch statement of them, just so we know what it is, I guess. But I guess for now, just in the interest of time, what we can do is we can do something like that in reporting mode and do that. And then also how do we do that? No, undo that. Find that and reporting mode. Cool. Where else do we use you here as well? So here I think I want to do modes, and I think I want to modes like that. So we do that, and then here we can do that. Nah, I didn't quite do. So here I might have been easier to copy something else. Anyhow, where was this used? It was used there. You probably need to do that and do that and reporting 14 mode string and so search for that or do that, but then do that and then reporting mode out of bounds. Cool. Where else do we mouse mode? Just there. Cool. So I think this will compile. Yeah. One thing we could do is at this point here, we could kind of VT mouse reporting mode equals VT undo that, redo that, VT mouse reporting mode and then we can have digits there. I think that's roughly what I want. I did mean just mouse reporting. Cool. And then at this point here, we had a key mouse, and we had it at this point here. And at this point here, this is where we checked all these things that we kind of check. So we can have a mouse if not mouse, we can just kind of return. But perhaps I want to if printf std error ignoring mouse as client hasn't asked for it. And we can do something like that and maybe do something there. Cool. So at this point here, this is kind of why I thought it could be good to have a kind of define it up there. So if we have a key, if we have a VT mouse mode So what are our mouse modes? Mouse mode, they are all of these things. What we can do is just get all of that there. We can do something like this. We can find the X and then replace that with I think it will just be easier doing this, and then we can do that, and we need one more, and then here we can find that, and then replace that all with that. Oh yeah. We need a norm, find that, and then replace that with that, and then do that. And cool, we have all of the cases kind of defined. And perhaps we can have like an unreachable default case. Unreachable, and then this we unexpected mouse mode, and we can give the mouse mode. It's likely we've got some memory corruption there. Cool, something like that. And then at this point here, we don't really need to do too much, but I might just kind of put that in there. Right, so if we have click tracking, we need to see if VT emitted key dot mouse dot movement, we can ignore that. And so we can do something like that, ignoring mouse movement. Ignoring mouse event, that needs to be there. Otherwise, we do want to send the movement. And so what we could do is we need to it'll basically look like a printf. We've got TTY. We can do an FD printf. Is that like a no? It's a D printf, isn't it? Yeah, D printf, and we can pass to a TT like a file descriptor. And here, what we want to do is we also want to work out. I think what I want to do is just send mouse event in the preferred manner, because it might differ depending on what reporting mode you have. So if we have that, we also kind of want this movement. We also have a release button. So if we are releasing, or just release, release. Now, is that the case that, so in 101, we just have the click tracking? No, it's 100, just the click tracking. And we have a press and a release. Click, press, release, press, release. And you can see the difference between a press and a release is just the kind of space or a hash. So we have escape, open, M, then either a space or a hash, then 1. That's in the default thing. So what we can do is switch. What is the time? I'm getting a little hungry, so I potentially might kind of leave that. But yeah, so it does what the release was the thing that I was thinking there. And so this press release, that's so the click tracking was not what I thought. That was the just 9. So if we look at that, we are only getting the click on the down. So only down. So I want to bring it back with that in. So I think this is roughly what I want for this. Unimpl for this. Unsure how to handle with mouse. I like mode just yet. We can work it out at a later point. Otherwise, I probably just want this for release and drag. But so when we have the press release, I don't. The press release, which was 1,000. So 1,000 was only the press and release, no of the dragging. The press release drag, that is, we get the movements only when a mouse button is down, and we get the press and the release. So we get movement, but only when it is down. Need to work out if mouse button is down, and perhaps we need to kind of store and we can have that. Perhaps we need to actually store the current state of the mouse, like whether a mouse button is down or not. And I think in the movement, we just need to kind of send it in the preferred manner. And I think at that point there, I think that's a perfect point to kind of just say, we're adding some mouse support. We should potentially get this. And so this, it did have a key value, and that key value had a mouse. So it's just in the key dot mouse. So then that will be that, and then that, and then also there. And so just checking, we can have bash, and if we run the mouse, we don't actually break anything, but what it's saying is ignoring mouse event as client hasn't asked for it. If we run the a.out, it did a thing, but well, yeah, it crashed because it's unimplemented now. So we've asked for the mouse. We don't know how to send it yet. It's likely going to be a printf, a dprintf. But yeah, so what I can do is add all this up. So we basically added in that other mode for just click tracking, and then all these other modes. So it's basically remembering what mode that we're in, so we can print it in the right manner, and that's that. So boilerplate for mouse support to send to client, something like that. And I will come back to that another day when I'm a bit less tired. Hungry. Yeah, it's lunchtime. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching the video if you've made it this far. It's an interesting project, and I hope to do a bit more with it. The idea is that I can kind of do test stuff in it. It's a nice framework. But anyway, hope you enjoy the day, and I'll see you another time. See ya.